Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Absolute rock anthem right there. That opening riff, iconic. Nobody, when they hear that riff, you know, if you were at a quiz night, for example, and they were doing, which is a lot of pressure for us radio people, by the way, if a music category comes up, like name that song or something, everybody looks at you at the table if you're on a quiz night team. But if that riff comes up, everybody knows Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water.
There's no other reason but to put you on our team for trivia night than when it comes to the new country format that's out there.
Sports, music, I get looked at, you know, but I'll say this. I was on a quiz night team and friends, a friend's topic came up, and my wife and another woman at the table knew every question before it was out of the guy's mouth. Like they were like, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And I'm sitting there going, come on, give me a Seinfeld topic. Because if a Seinfeld topic came up, I'm pretty sure I could nail that 100% too.
That's why when they have specific nights, like I've gone to a specific friend's quiz night.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sure,
And so as like somebody who watched the show many times through, same with like Sex and the City, I think I would excel at that one too. But there's certain shows like The Office that people would, you know, be more prone to, or their Harry Potter trivia or whatever the
Give me
hell
a
it is.
Rambo movie category. Like at one of these quiz nights, I want to hit one of those topics.
You know what you'd be good at? Like when they would have quiz nights on movie quotes, famous movie quotes.
Yeah, it depends on the movie though. Like it's got to be
Yeah, it can't be like a rom-com
No.
quote because you're not going to get that
No,
one.
no. Exactly.
I'll tell you right now, I'm terrible.
It's very niche what you're looking for, Phil.
Terrible. By the time my thought process is finished, somebody on the team's already got the answer.
You're not being
When
fair.
it comes to
You would have your
movies and
topics,
that.
Joe.
No.
You would have your topics.
Yes.
I'm better as the quiz master.
Historic years of weather, for example, you would do really well at that.
No,
like
there's no category.
history of Winnipeg.
No category.
Social, like if you did a local social, like restaurants of
Wrestling.
wrestling.
For
Oh my
God's
God.
sakes.
I'd rather host.
You've done that. I've seen you host
Yeah.
quiz nights.
I say it's easier
You
to
are a
have the
good host.
dumbest person in the room ask the questions because the answers are already there.
You are not dumb. That is
When
not
it comes,
true.
No, I'm dead serious. When it comes to trivia nights, and I've been invited, I'm the guy on the team. Here, I'll organize you. Here's your piece of paper. Here's the pencil. Someone has to write in the answers. But I will not be the first one to draw in on a game show. Don't put me in front of a buzzer. I'm out.
I know this isn't going to shock you guys, but I'm the type at quiz night to, regardless of if I know the answer or not.
Yell it out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
surprise us at all.
100%.
No, I
And
definitely.
And
the
they'll
table-
hear you across
I'm
the room.
excited.
And the table will say, Shay, because you're giving the
Yeah.
other table the answer. There's always
Yeah.
one of those at your table.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
you, Curbs, for sure.
That's why I get excited and I like a quiz night, but I'm not very good at it.
But Phil, you started the whole conversation with nobody, and then you repeated it with a higher nobody. And have you ever noticed nobody has ever come back from that? You can't come back from that. If somebody is debating something with you and they go nobody, and I mean nobody, it'll have you stopped. And talking about trivia, I'd be stopped there, right there, and sitting there going, hey, you know what? He might be right. He said nobody twice. That's the truth. Nobody twice with a louder nobody will stop you in your tracks every time.
That's good.
Philly Joe Kirby
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Call the Bone phone 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Morning, guys. Bob Reno here. Hey, how about those Winnipeg Jets, eh? How about those Winnipeg Jets? Fastest team to 15 wins in NHL history. Soak it all in, Jets fans. Let the haters hate. You know, oh, yeah, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Just live in the moment. Just let us live in the moment. And you know, this team is looking better than 2018. This team is dialed in. This team is buying in. This team is tough. This team is resilient. This team can come back. This team could make you pay when you make the slightest mistake. We got the best goalie in the league. I mean, there's nothing else you can say.
Well said. Like, very well said.
Well, there's no one that predicted this start. No doubt about that. But I'll tell you, the next home game is against the Florida Panthers, and Paul Maurice returning here. And I believe it's on a Tuesday night after this short little road trip. But then they're back on the road again. This is a difficult month
Sure.
for games going in. But you would hope that game becomes a sellout to show these guys some support.
Some appreciation.
We have tickets, by the way, all week to give away for that game against Pomo.
Excellent. Okay, yesterday came up on the show, courtesy of Kirby, a topic pertaining to going to a party and not knowing anybody, and what do you do when you walk into a situation where you don't know anybody?
Hey guys, yesterday, or well, whenever this thing gets aired, but you're talking about showing up at a party where you don't know anybody. So I've even got a worse one than that. I was invited to a celebration of life.
Oh, those are tough. Yeah.
But I was basically there for the mother. I never had a chance to meet the son that passed away. So I was going there only knowing her. So I show up and she's not there. So I walk into the celebration of life, not knowing the son, not knowing anybody there. So yeah, I just sat in the corner and grabbed food and ate, and slowly people came up to me and asked me how I knew the family and stuff like that, and then eventually the mother showed up, and everything was okay. But for a while there it was pretty awkward.
Funerals are tough. You just have an egg salad sandwich and hope you see someone you know.
Yeah. And he did. He said he ate. He said he ate.
You gotta have a sandwich.
That would be, you can't go to a funeral and not have a mini sandwich.
Well, you love those sandwiches. You're a big fan of egg salad.
And just the way that they shape them in the little squares.
Triangles.
On a tray.
Triangles.
Triangles.
Squares. Squares is a normal sandwich.
Yeah. Last time I checked.
Oh, look what we did. We shaped the bread in a square. No, that's how it came.
Still waking up, okay?
For a real funeral, we do squares, celebration of life. Because we're celebrating, we go with the more fun triangles.
I guess yesterday afternoon, Big Daddy Kane had somebody with who the hell is that guest? Patrick Swayze.
Oh.
Patrick Swayze, of course, is not living. So that creates frustration.
Oh, my God. Dude says Patrick Swayze. So I texted at a Big Daddy Kane.
There you go.
And said, hey, they said all the way through that all these celebrities, all these people are alive. Oh, come on, people. Read the frickin' rules. Listen to the show a little bit. My good Lord. Anyways, I just got to put my 2 cents in there. Rock on, Big N out.
By the way,
you can't argue now because it's capped at $10,000. So it's not like the pot's growing, right? With the guesses.
So everybody wants in.
Another clue coming up. Another clue. Just a few minutes away.
Hey, by the way, I'm back in. Big Daddy Kane. It sounded good.
Yeah,
it sounded good.
you are.
That was 2 comments.
You're
and of
back
course
in.
Big N. Well, I'm gonna go with Big Daddy Kane now. I feel like it's catching on.
He did.
I just don't know.
Kirby's not in.
It wasn't just Phil, and then I jumped on, and you're not in yet. But then when Big N jumps in, and he's got a big in front of him, he's allowed to go Big Daddy Kane.
Well, it's the daddy part.
Until Adam Kane says, no, guys, stop it. I'm going with it.
Well,
He did not
his
say that. He
face
hasn't
says
said
it all,
that.
though, honestly.
Yes, it did.
He didn't look amused. You're right. Okay, you know who else wants to win? Who the hell is that? Lisa. Although I think Lisa's a bit confused about what the grand prize is, okay?
So anyway, I want to win those 5440 tickets, and I can't figure out the second guy. I thought the second guy was Jack White, but I could be mistaken.
So, no, it's $10,000 up for grabs, Lisa, not 5440
And then
tickets.
you go and buy your own 5440 tickets with some of the money from the $10,000.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Queen, another one bites the dust. 92.1 City, Winnipeg's rock station. Kind of like an unfortunate song right after Renee had a wrong guess for who the hell is that. I assure you that was not done on purpose because we have no way of knowing. That could have come after Renee won the $10,000.
Yeah.
Bad
You're
timing.
absolutely right.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
I was just reading in the rules, too, that you have to have the correct answers in order. And I've been doing it differently. I've been going, person number 1, person number 3, because they've been identified. And then I say person number 2, so it's not in order. So I'm going to have to go back to order. There's too many rules
Joe,
around here.
You are like, I got to say, the last year or so, maybe Phil could agree, you've gone rogue a bit. And you just do your own thing. You get in trouble for certain things by the boss, and you say, I hear what you're saying, Iron Mike, but I'm going to do my own thing.
I don't say that.
No, he's never actually said that. But he has been getting, knuckle wrapped more often than usual from Iron Mike especially about who the hell is that.
I'm trying to make the contest more fun. More because
there's rules and regulations for a reason, Joe.
So now I got to go voice 1, voice 2, voice 3. Oh my God.
I'm going to go see Iron Mike after the show today and have a little chat with him about your attitude around the office.
I've already emailed him.
Have you? Good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have noticed.
I'm going to mumble my way out of here. Hey, at 10 o'clock.
You know who else noticed? Barb, the cleaning lady.
Barb's nice.
Yeah, but she's wondering about you and your attitude with breaking rules.
She came in here when you were in the washroom yesterday and talked to Phil and I and said, you know what, that rule breaker, Joe.
I'll tell you one thing.
Out of hand.
Barb says hello. There's some people I have never met before. You walk by them, you say hello, they just keep walking.
You've gotten the
I don't know. They don't say anything.
You're making me nervous.
A couple of people around here.
Do you just say hello? That's a good question. Do you greet people in passing?
I always say hello.
To everybody?
Yes.
In the whole
like
building.
If you're out
if
for
they're
a
walking
walk?
right by, yes.
I think
it's rude if I don't.
I give the smile nod. You don't.
Yeah, I can do that too.
I mostly do that if unless it's someone I know in the building, which is pretty much limited to the staff here at 92.1 City.
Yep. I always say hi. Even out on the street. Hey, how you doing?
There's the stereotypical in the street. That does not shock me.
Well, I'm walking my dog or sure, whatever. Hello.
Oh gosh. But like the smile like that people do, like it's like the straight mouth, like the pursed lips, like
that's my move.
The head shake.
What's wrong with that?
It is a go-to for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figure
I'll say hello.
You actually say hi. Okay. I wave like if I'm in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm making a left turn and someone who I know lives on the bay, but I don't know their name, I wave at them.
But I've walked in this building because it's a big building and we don't know everybody, and I always say hello, and there's people that'll just keep kind of walking. Yeah.
Well,
that's
don't
kind of
take
weird
it personally.
It is.
No, I don't. Trust me. I just keep on with my day. But
I'm gonna walk around the building a little more often with you and see, and I just want to see who's doing this to you because it's concerning.
Because you're a friendly guy. Like I would just
be.
how do you not say hello back? But some people are just antisocial.
I can't worry about that right now. I'm trying to follow the rules in this contest.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to make it more dramatic.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Kirby, I'm a little disappointed that you would find instructions on how to fall properly a year too late for me after my now infamous wipeout in the Sobeys parking lot last year where I went ass over tea kettle with a one of those half shopping carts I went too fast, a little slope coming out of Sobeys on Plessy's there, and the cart went forward and I went over top of the cart. So, and I was not injured seriously. It did hurt my shin, dug into the cart a little bit. But bottom line is, now you tell me off air that, hey guys, I found some instructions with winter coming on how to fall properly. And this would have been good information for me to have last year is what I'm trying to say.
Well, nobody wants to wait in the ER. Let's be honest.
That's right. Go a little slower would be my tip. Coming out, especially those half carts are light.
Did we not?
I don't have any tips on this list regarding shopping carts, but I appreciate that one, Phil.
Did we not find out officially that it was stiff leg syndrome that you were suffering from too after this fall?
That could have contributed.
We knew, but I don't think it had
It could have been
name.
a factor.
I don't think it had a name at the time.
There was a factor in me going over top of the cart, I think. But I've
the
always
legs
had.
stayed very stiff in that
that didn't help the fall is what I'm
The
saying.
non-flexibility definitely
my
hurt my
gosh.
chances.
But yes, there is 4 tips that you got to remember.
While you're falling.
I know.
I think most people just land straight with their hands down. Isn't that the automatic reaction? Hold on. The Rolodex is going, whoa, what am I thinking about in slow-mo?
You can, this is the proper way to fall if you end up going down and have the time to think about it.
So is this meant to be like on ice?
Just in general. Just
general.
the fall in general.
General fall,
Okay.
Who's having a general fall if snow and ice isn't involved?
I fall all the time.
My
Are
old
you
man,
kidding?
you do not
Yes,
fall
I
all the
do.
time. When? When's the last time you fell then
Hold
when
on.
ice wasn't involved?
Hold on.
When I was emceeing the Rainbow Gala, I had an embarrassing fall at the beginning of the night, to be honest.
Okay. Did you fall or just trip?
No, well,
There's a difference.
No, is there really a difference?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
trip caused the fall.
No, a fall means you fell.
Senior
you know, you hit
citizens.
something. A
Senior
trip means
citizens fall.
a trip means you just one of
Okay,
those.
just let me tell you about this, okay?
Okay.
Number
All right.
1, try to land on something soft. So if you're outside, you got to
Really?
aim for things like grass or something like that. If you're inside, try to fall towards the carpet,
Okay.
okay? Or the couch.
Great tip right there.
Great tip.
These are not my tips. I'm just passing them along. They're from the CDC, okay?
These are from people that fall constantly
Okay.
like yourself.
Make your butt
Make your what?
your butt absorb most of the impact.
That's good if you can sort of swing yourself as you're
Yes.
falling to your ass.
Avoid your
Yeah.
tailbone at all costs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or your hips.
Yeah.
Relax your body. Just like let it happen.
Yeah, because as I'm swearing, as I'm sliding on that ice about to fall, the first thing I do, body, relax, relax, relax.
Okay, because it says that tensing up leads to worse injuries. So think about, this is where you went wrong, Phil. It says think about bending your knees.
Well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can bend my
that's
knees,
what I
but
mean.
it's difficult and it doesn't, yeah.
And here's the last tip. Tuck your chin in. It can prevent head and neck injuries, okay?
I feel like this is on the wall, the bulletin board at my parents' 55 plus home. I really, I do.
Either that or like the Olympic ski jump team, right? Tuck chin in, watch for the fall, straighten out the legs, body.
Try to
And
remember all of that, okay?
just a reminder, Kirby falls all the
All the
time.
time.
All the time. So
We're getting her a medical alert bracelet.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Joe found a study, a research paper by scientists about bathrooms at work and people not wanting to use the bathrooms at work. Was it a research paper by scientists?
You're
Joe?
not too far off. It was a poll that was done recently, and 1/3, so 1/3 of your employees, and for a lot of companies, they're only back 3 days out of the 5. That's the mandatory callback, right? For a lot of
Yeah.
companies. Some have been back, of course. 1/3 of employees are, quote, afraid to use the washroom where they work. And let me
What do
explain.
you mean
Yeah.
by afraid? Like there's something
not going in there.
There's something lurking in the bathroom?
Well, when I read the article, I can relate to some of this. I'm sure, as many others. I mean, if 1/3 of people are quite afraid, quote, afraid, 36% of us are, quote, scared to use the work facilities because of a lack of privacy now. That's the greatest concern. 60% of the people that took the survey said their biggest concern is a little too public in there for me.
Especially with stalls.
Yeah.
The stalls are make or break.
Yeah, so if you don't have the private bathrooms, that makes sense. And number 2 on the why we have anxiety list behind the privacy is the smell. The good old stank. That's
So we're talking number 2. Well, like people will go pee in a work bathroom.
Well, unless you've had asparagus 7 days in a row
Yeah.
or something, it should be okay there. You're right.
I mean,
number
listen.
2.
Sorry, keep going. You had some.
No, and there's one more.
Okay.
The third one was noise concerns. So it all plays into the public bathroom idea. That's number 1, smell, and then the noise.
Okay.
People get embarrassed sometimes.
Well, and the noise I would assume has to deal with number 2 as well, Phil.
Not the public nature of it. Like if it's a stall situation, is that what you're saying?
Because I know for women, and maybe men aren't so inconspicuous, but I've been in public washrooms where like women will do a little cough. Like
yes.
and then, like you to
men do
mask
not
the
do that.
sound.
No, guys don't
Or
do
they'll
that.
flush multiple times. Like there's a lot of flushing
Courtesy
happening.
flush. Look, here's the deal. I have to go pretty bad if I'm using a stall bathroom at work or
Yeah.
anywhere. I'm not a big fan of the stall. And, my truck driver brother would say I'm soft because he uses public bathrooms
Yeah.
all the time and truck stops. But I'm not a big fan of the stall situation. If it's a private bathroom, I'm far more likely, if nature calls, to hit up like in the old building our old location in Osborne Village. It was a private, lock the door situation.
Yeah,
So
except that bathroom became broken because the crusher, first thing in the morning, we don't know. I
That
can't
guy.
say by name, but
Oh,
the
that
man
guy.
never used. I'm telling you, his water bill at home must have been next to nothing because there was no flushes going on at home.
He wouldn't even go to his desk and put
No.
his briefcase down before the crusher would use the
Yeah.
And
bathroom.
it was so bad going
Yeah.
in there afterwards. And even worse, there used to be another guy that also worked in that building with us who smoked cigars.
Yes.
And he would leave like a half smoking cigar on the.
I didn't mind the
back
cigar
of the
smoke.
toilet,
I
and
could
then
swallow that one.
It was
but,
just a lot of sense going on in
yeah,
there.
but the
here's-
crusher, man. That
Here's
was
the
a scene.
capper. Just in case you're on the other side of that, companies have found out that on average, apparently $2,800 goes down the toilet, as it says here, per year in office employee. That's how much time they spend in the bathroom, these people, and it's costing how much time away from their job.
Oh, my.
That's probably why stalls are more common in offices than those like individual bathrooms, because you could probably go in there and spend some time doing whatever the hell you want to do. Check your phone, make a phone call, you know.
Well, yeah, my brother used to work at a place where it wasn't uncommon to walk in and see someone in a stall for like 35, 45 minutes, and you knew they were having a nap. Like there's no,
Yeah.
they're in that stall, they're not taking a dump, they're having a nap. But so I think if you're one of those people that's wasting time and using the bathroom as an excuse, stall, private bathroom, I think it's probably more likely in a stall. Because in a private bathroom, you're going to get a lot of, you know what I mean? A
Oh,
lot of-
yeah. Checking the door.
Yes, but
See, I
it's-
would never check the door. Like if it was locked, and so I don't care if someone's in there for 2 hours, I'm not knocking.
Well, how do you know? Well, what do you mean? You go to open the door. If that's checking the door. If like you-
Right, but if it's locked, I'm not going to knock. I know
well,
somebody's
but
in
they
there.
already know that's the same as knocking, jiggling the door.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, you still know it's locked.
Like they still hear you trying to
Right.
get in.
But I wouldn't do it a second time to make a point of like, okay, hurry up, it's been 30 minutes.
No, but you always have to jiggle the door to open it, or you're saying they leave it open when they're done?
Yeah, like somebody would leave it open.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
there would be some that open and some that are
The
just always
crusher,
closed.
the crusher never left it open when he was done. I'll tell you that much.
God
Oh.
forbid he let that place air out.
It actually became his own bathroom.
Yes,
essentially, he had his own private bathroom. Now that you think about this in hindsight, the crusher had his own bathroom.
Because nobody would go in there
No.
after him. Oh, man.
There wasn't enough Glade made back one day.
Oh, man. That's BJK Extra.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Okay, Kirby, would you rather be an HR director and have to walk Rambo through his benefit forms, or be Cousin Eddie's financial planner, Cousin Eddie from Christmas Vacation? So you're an HR director, you're sitting in your office, and John Rambo walks in and you got to help him with his forms, or you're sitting down with Cousin Eddie of Christmas Vacation fame and talking to him about his finances.
Oh my gosh. Either, like, this is a tough one because either or sounds stressful.
And, you know, the joke with Cousin Eddie being like he's always unemployed in those movies, right? He's in between jobs.
He's in between.
Living
His
in
family.
a motorhome.
The line in Christmas Vacation was that he's holding out for a management position.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds very stressful.
Right.
But, you know, I'm going to go with Rambo because, listen, like, he would be a man of few words. I'm guessing I would do a lot of the filling out of papers for him.
That's a good point. You just have to ask him, like, okay, name, first name, middle name, right?
Yeah, last known address. Oh, you don't have one.
No, we'll
that's
just
gonna, that's
we'll
really
just
gonna
put the
make things hard.
well, no, you just put the office building address in, and yeah, how old are you? I don't know. Okay, just
Okay,
put an
very
age
good.
in. You got to lie through those forms. I'm going with Cousin Eddie. Because at the end of the day, Rambo's
luck.
a little too intense. Good luck. I don't want that guy sitting across from me and I piss him off. Cousin Eddie, kind of oblivious to what's going on in the real world. And whatever money he's coming to, he's going to be a lower maintenance client. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you're starting from square one with
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie.
We're going to start you off with a tax-free savings account, Cousin Eddie. Here you go. If you can just put $50 a month right now, we're in it for the long haul. It'll build.
Moving on. Would you rather have to sleep hanging upside down like a bat, Kirby, or standing up like a horse? So you're sleeping upside down or sleeping standing up like a horse?
I don't know. Like, I mean, all the blood would rush to your head. That's the only thing I would think
Dangerous.
about. Like, is that you'd be waking up very lightheaded,
I don't know.
being
That's
upside down often.
not safe.
But standing up's not comfortable at all. And I don't know if I could actually fall asleep standing up. Like,
You'd
that
lean.
would be
You'd have
pretty
to lean.
hard.
You'd
I'd
have-
have to be very, I'd have to be so exhausted.
2 minutes ago, you told us you continually fall. How are you going to sleep standing up?
I guess I would go standing up over being hung upside down.
Joe?
I agree with the points you made, Kirby, but I just can't see myself. I have a hard enough time if I fall asleep in a chair, with my neck bobbing and it hurting my neck. So I got to be upside down at the very least. It seems like the better out of the two evils.
Imagine walking into Joe's place and he's sleeping in the living room, hanging up
It's
upside
like-
down.
Well, you've seen people do it. They've
Yeah.
got those machines. I don't know what they're called,
Oh,
where they
the
hook you by the
inversion.
inversion machines, right? All the
Yeah.
time.
Okay. Would you rather have an arm, Kirby, that turns into a flamethrower or a finger that can freeze anything?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Would you
I know it's a lot to do.
Would you rather have an arm
Arm.
that turns into a flamethrower or a finger that can freeze anything?
I don't want to be trusted with a flamethrower as a body part.
Good
because-
self-defense mechanism.
For sure, but knowing me, I'd end up accidentally starting fires.
Like your apartment on fire.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't be trusted with that. The freezing finger could be like, am I freezing things like
You
they're
freeze whatever you
they're
want.
encased in ice kind of thing, or like
Well, that's
freezing
what freeze-
time?
No. Freezing, like you freeze a drink or you freeze water.
Gotcha.
A liquid.
Oh, that would be handy because if you've ever bought a case of pop from the store and it's not cold yet and you want a cold pop,
Mm-hmm.
that would be very helpful.
I'll tell you what, Kirby, you go into the answers. Wow, the detail. Joe.
Well, she had to break down what you can freeze with. I'm going with the flame-throwing arm, and I'll tell you why. We live in a winter climate. It's cold enough. I'll find a way to freeze my pop. I'm trying to thaw things out here. You go to a Bomber game, right? You go to that Bomber game, the Western Final. It wasn't bad out. But imagine when we've had those bad months. You could make a living outside just torching people on the butt a little bit just to make their toasty buns for a
about-
game or something.
I camp, starting fires,
Starting a
camping.
fire. Hold on. I got you
Amazing.
covered right here.
We'll wrap with this one. Would you rather find a dead person under your bed or a living person under your bed? So this is random. You wake up and
Ooh.
boom.
Wow.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So either way, you're finding somebody
Finding
underneath the
something.
bed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think I'd have to go with somebody who's deceased.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's any better, but at least I'd have less
Well, you're
of
going to
a
be a suspect.
Yeah.
How
But
did this person get
But the living person, now that's a home invader. So
right?
now you're fighting.
And that's the thing is like,
Yeah.
what are they doing under there?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I would
So
go
you're
with.
going
the
dead,
deceased.
dead person, okay?
Oh, I don't think I'd ever be able to sleep again.
Joe?
Dead.
Joe's returning an email.
Dead.
Sorry.
Dead. Dead.
Dead person?
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead
for
or
sure.
alive.
No, because you didn't sing when you did your answer. Why are you singing when I give
Sorry,
it mine?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It came to me. It came to me.
Seriously, though, it'd be tough either way, but live is pretty creepy. There's a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
Dead, you could probably deal with a little easier, I think.
don't
I think. Plus, I mean, that'd be pretty noticeable pretty fast, I think, if it was a dead person.
Okay, man,
That was a tough one
That
today.
might have been one of that last question. One of the
ever.
tougher ones. That's Would You Rather Wednesday.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Someone on the Boston Pizza text line says he got it all wrong with Rambo and HR. Well, you might not get stellar conversation. He would treat you with the same respect that you treat him, and that ultimately is what Rambo's all about.
True.
So, this, of course, goes back to Would You Rather Wednesday. And would you rather, be an HR person at the offices and have to walk Rambo through some of those forms? Or would you rather be Cousin Eddie from the vacation movies, financial advisor? And I'm with Joe. You went with Rambo, right?
No, I went with
you went Cousin
Eddie
Eddie.
because Kirby went with Rambo, and I
Yeah.
thought that'd be an intense conversation as an HR person because HR, you have to follow by the book. Rambo's no one that's going to follow by the book outside of the respect factor. That was very brought up point.
Well, and Kirby, just a tidbit. Don't try to, do a selfie with him. Like, hey, now that we did the forums, can we take a picture together? I just don't think that's going to fly with
I
him.
do think, though, that I could win him over. Like, I could probably,
I don't think so.
get a little bit of a half smile out of him.
No chance. Don't take this the
Half
wrong
smile.
way. Don't take that, but you're too much for him. And that's a
I'm
compliment
too much
to you.
for a lot of guys.
You are, yeah. That's right.
Who has ever smiled dealing with HR people?
I would be helping him.
The forms, yeah.
He doesn't know how to do the forms.
That's the way HR people
He would like
see
to
it.
retire in Burma.
But he's not a guy who smiles and
I
says,
know,
thank
but
you
I
so much
think
for your
that
help.
I could have that effect on a man like
Okay.
Rambo.
I think the first HR issue might be that he's going to walk into work without a shirt on.
And a headband and have Kirby
Listen,
explain
we've
to
had
him.
a few complaints around
Listen,
here.
John.
John,
You're gonna
may I
have to
call
put
you
your
John?
shirt on.
Mr. Rambo, you're going to have to start wearing a shirt to work. We do have a policy. It's in the handbook.
And that giant knife of yours, you got to leave that at home, too.
It's very
Yeah.
intimidating
We
to
know.
the other people in the workplace.
We know you've been through a lot. Someone else is asking you, Joe, about The Sexiest Man Alive. It was released yesterday.
Yeah, John Krasinski, who, of course, was a star in The Office and doing a bunch of other acting roles right now. I forgot he was married to Emily Blunt.
Yeah, they're a bit of a power couple, those two.
Yeah, so he's the sexiest man alive. He says it's just going to mean more housework and
Is that
house
what he
chores
said?
at home. Yeah, I was joking around.
Well, that's something you don't live down. Like, you must be proud, but you'll get teased about it, too, by your buddies.
I'm honestly shocked they still do like a list for that.
Yeah,
Because
but
there's
it's
so many different categories. Like, it would be hard to nail it down to one specific.
That makes you sexy?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah. Like, is it funny? Does a good sense of humor come in there? Good personality?
yeah, he seems to have it all. Krasinski,
He's a funny guy.
Funny guy
Mm-hmm. He's in that show now, and I forget what it's called, but it's an action show.
on
And
Amazon.
Harrison Ford played the character in movies.
Indiana Jones.
No. You know what I'm talking
yeah,
about?
Yeah, and is it a Tom Clancy?
Someone will
from
know.
a book.
Someone will know on the Boston Pizza text line.
I'm a
what-
big fan of the Quiet Place movies. I
Jack
would say.
Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Oh,
yeah.
Jack. I've seen that on the guide there.
It's on Amazon, I
And
believe.
he's nailed that, right?
Yeah.
And that's when Harrison Ford has played that part and you still come along and do it well.
Yeah,
Like, good for John Krasinski.
yeah,
And
very
that's
good.
And that's The Rock has won that before too, correct?
Rock's number 2 on the sexiest bald man list this year. Prince William won it through
Oh.
People magazine.
Man, wow.
I still get a subscription, eh?
Yeah.
People at home. I like it. I like it dropped off at the home in the mailbox.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Don't forget you can win some Jelly Roll tickets, actually, before they go on sale on our Facebook page. Would you rather Wednesday today? The toughest question I think we've ever asked. Well, you asked, Phil, about...
would you rather Wednesday question?
yeah, because that's what you have to answer to get in on the Jelly Roll tickets.
Would you rather find somebody under your bed that is living or find somebody under your bed that is dead?
Right.
Neither are good. If they're living, it's likely a home invader and you're fighting.
There's questions to be answered, basically.
No, you're fighting. If you don't know the person and they're under your bed, that's a fight. Like
That's what nightmares are made of.
we had a question about, and the answer was a certain percentage. I think it was 40-something% of men have never been in a fight. But if you find someone under your bed that's alive that you don't know, that's a fight. If you've never been in one, that's your first fight.
Don't you think it's a bigger question if you find a dead body under your bed than a live body?
I
A
would
live
say.
body, I'm assuming I know how they got in. They snuck into the house somehow. But a dead body, how the hell did that get there?
Yeah, now you're the prime suspect.
Yes.
You or somebody in that
That's
house.
a movie.
Like, who put that dead body under your bed?
That's a movie script right
Yes,
there.
it
It's
is,
not
yeah.
a movie script if you find somebody under your bed. That's just part of the movie. But the theme, if you find a dead body, you could have a whole movie made around that.
I mean, either situation, you would probably never sleep soundly ever again.
True.
Oh, I would say so. And
Like, you would never want to sleep in the dark.
What if
or, without checking underneath the bed.
what if you're naked? Now you're naked and afraid, like the TV
This is
show.
why you should never sleep naked, because you just
Bingo.
never know
Hello.
what kind of situation you're going to have to deal with.
Phil has said that all along, but I'm going
Yeah.
to tell you something.
I
By the
have.
time I take the CPAP mask off, I have time to digest the information, shut it off, because you want some complete silence, and then you got to think it through. There's a dead body under the bed. I don't know why, but I was getting a great night's sleep until this interrupted it.
But what if they're alive? Are they going to give you the time to take your CPAP off before you try to fight?
Tangled up in the cords.
Can you fight?
Yeah, no, it's easy to get that off.
Can you fight with the mask on?
There's
or
no
does
cords.
It has to come off?
Yeah, you should take it off, I think.
Take it off before
just
you
to
fight?
be safe. It's just easier.
I think it's more intimidating with it on.
Not intimidating. I think if you get the intruder laughing, I think that's a good start to the confrontation.
By telling them, just a second, I've got to fight you off, home intruder, but first I got to take off the mask.
Darth Vader, is that you?
Give me a second. Tie up my pajama strings here. A bit tighter.
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.